अवतार मेहर
मेहर
बाबा
बाबा
की
की
जय।
जय।
अवतार मेहर
अवतार
बाबा
मेहर बाबा
की
की
जय।
जय।
अवतार मेहर
अवतार
बाबा
मेहर
की
बाबा
जय।
की जय।
जय बाबा। प्रताप अंकल,
जय
all
बाबा,
yours.
जय बाबा।
Yeah.
We have just completed our 3 days program, birthday programs. Usually, up to the last year, we used to have programs for 7 days, a week-long program, starting from 19th and ending on 25th. But this time, it is because of the corona and all the restrictions put by government, we had to cut short that program to 3 days. We have a program organizing committee led by Prashant Ahir and a very capable people in IT sector. They are helping him in editing all these programs. He has a very good team with him, and all these boys and girls, in spite of their very busy schedule in their office work and all that, they have allotted time to organize or to edit these programs so nicely that we didn't feel any absence that we are not sitting in the center hall and doing the program. It was so very nice feeling all through. During Baba's time, we used to have some programs like that, but then they were not on a very large scale. It was in the morning, we used to go to the center. That time our center was, in fact, before that we had gatherings at some private people's house. But there also we used to have these programs, morning prayers programs. Thereafter, when the center was constructed, then we were having regular programs in the morning and evening. During Baba's time, Baba's life on this earth, Baba had restricted some years wherein he didn't allow any public programs. And one such a year he had asked, or he has allowed his lovers to greet him by telegraphically. By sending a telegram, we could greet him. And then I had composed 4 lines, which I will like to share with you. These 4 lines, which were then composed by me, were: Thou art the source whence the creation emerges. Thou art the source whence the creation emerges. Thou art the goal where the creation merges. In the duality of births and deaths, my soul urges to greet thee, the reality in images. This was the telegram which was drafted by me. And in my and Madhusudan's name, we had sent it to Baba. And after a month's time, when Erach had come to his house in Pune for some work, he happened to meet one of our members of the center of our Bhajan Mandali, Narendra Thadi. And he told Narendra that the small poetry of four lines was very much liked by Baba. And Baba has asked me to send it to the magazine, which was every month magazine from Andhra. It was being published, Divyavani. In that, it was published in that. See, in Baba's instruction, Erich had sent it those 4 lines, and they were printed therein. So, after Baba dropped his body in the month of January end, and on the very 25th, within a month's time, we had to celebrate Baba's birthday. And I have already described Baba that occasion when it was celebrated in a very sad mood and it's a very gloomy atmosphere because everyone was missing Baba so much. We were so very accustomed to saying Baba every time whenever he is in Guru Prasad, that it was just unbearable for all of us to adjust with that situation. And thereafter, after about 1 hour, 1 year, Madhusudan, thereafter after 1 year, Madhusudan stopped coming to the center for his own reasons, health reasons and some other reasons. He started coming to the center, and then I was in Mumbai then, and I decided to come every year to Pune for these birthday functions. So all with my family member, I used to come to Pune, and then see the it's a beautiful setting of Meher Baba, I would say. I started getting some urge to compose some drama skits and some songs and all that. And on the basis of that, we started composing some skits and having children's program. And we used to involve in this program very young children. And this went on with the during the Amar Tithi times also. In Amar Tithi also, in the night time, the late night time, we used to have a children's program, some big dramas of 1 hour or so. And then everywhere there was a talk about these Pune Center children. I was very fond of arranging children's program. And this year also, there was a little handicap in the sense that many of the parents, many of the children had gone to their native place along with their parents. And we were not finding enough children to arrange for the programs. But then the organizing committee, program organizing committee, has done such an excellent job. Very thoughtfully, they have arranged so many programs such beautifully. I would request you, if you have put it on the YouTube, you can switch on sometime whenever you get time and just have a look at how the programs are being arranged in Pune. We focus much on children's programs.
Uncle, I can share that now. Sorry, I can share that song.
Sure. You
can see my screen, right?
डोला डोला रे मन मोरा डोला मन उमंग का झूले झूला डोला डोला रे मन मोरा डोला मन उमंग का झूले झूला डोला डोला रे मन मोरा डोला 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 रे मन मोरा डोला मन उमंग का झूले झूला डोला डोला रे मन मोरा डोला प्रियतम ये स्वयं इस मंदिर में आए ला 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 प्रियतम ये स्वयं इस मंदिर में आए माहौल प्यारा रखियो बनाए माहौल प्यारा रखियो बनाए प्रेम भाव से दूर न होना प्रभु की वाणी दियो न भूला, प्रभु की वाणी दियो न भूला। डोला डोला रे मन मोरा डोला, मन उमंग का झूले झूला।
डोला डोला रे मन मोरा डोला। हो भाई मुँह लटकाए, होनी तो आनी है आए। चिंता छोड़ो झूमो खुशी से, लूट लो मेहर प्रेम लुटाए। बुराइयों का मुँह काला, बुराइयों का मुँह काला। डोला डोला रे मन मोरा डोला, उमंग का झूले झूला। डोला डोला रे मन मोरा डोला। फूलेगा फलेगा और बढ़ेगा, फूलेगा फलेगा और बढ़ेगा। पथिकों को ये छाया देगा, पथिकों को ये छाया देगा। कल ये बनेगा एक महास्थल, आँखों से पर ना हो ओझल। शैशव इसका भोला भाला, शैशव इसका भोला भाला।
डोला डोला रे मन मोरा डोला, मन उमंग का झूले झूला। डोला डोला रे मन मोरा डोला।
कैसी अजब ये प्याव बनाई, प्रेम नीर से तृष्णा बढ़ाई। घोट घोट में मिली प्रभुताई, प्रभु ने ऐसी धारा बहाई। रिक्त कभी ना होता प्याला, रिक्त कभी ना होता प्याला। डोला डोला रे मन मोरा डोला, मन उमंग का झूले झूला। डोला डोला रे मन मोरा डोला।
उत्सव ये प्रेम का है अलबेला, ला 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 ला। उत्सव ये प्रेम का है अलबेला, मेहर के घर आनंद मेला, मेहर के घर आनंद मेला। प्रशांति ना मौका गवा दो, प्रेम की आग को और बढ़ा दो। प्रशांति ना मौका गवा दो, प्रेम की आग को और हवा दो। और बढ़ा दो शोला शोला, और बढ़ा दो शोला शोला। डोला डोला रे मन मोरा डोला, मन उमंग का झूले झूला। डोला डोला रे मन मोरा डोला, मन उमंग का झूले झूला। डोला डोला रे मन मोरा डोला, डोला डोला रे मन मोरा डोला। डोला डोला रे मन मोरा डोला।
Yes.
Thank
More
you, Ganesh.
Pratap.
Thank you, Ganesh.
My pleasure.
So, yes, it doesn't matter. Now, what I was just, I will just now conclude is birthday functions, and then we resume to the earlier talk about Dr. Ghani. Dr. Ghani, as we have known him by this time, that he was by nature, he was very humorous person. And his relation with Meher Baba was a very special one. In fact, last time I had expressed that in spite of the fact that some occasions Baba used to get some prayers recited, some portions of the religious books recited in the beginning of that program, Baba, in spite of Ghani being present, Baba never asked Ghani to recite any such a prayer. He used to ask either Khak Sahib especially, or if somebody, Ramju or some, but not Ghani. And Ghani was given to recite some prayers which were applicable for certain occasions during Baba's new life and some other times, especially Baba's new life. And there were very simple prayers. And Baba was specifically asked Dr. Ghani to recite those prayers. Now, because of this close relation with Baba, Ghani's close relation with Baba, Ghani had given some names to Meher Baba, a choice of his own. There is now I was told last time by my young grandson and granddaughter who are in US, that this program is being watched by so many people in which there are Indian and other people also. So I can just explain certain things, use certain words in Hindi or Marathi or whatever it may be. So these are some of the words which Dr. Ghani used to use about Meher Baba. One word was Sabrang Shah. He is in all colors. He is all colors of life, not the colors as we see, red, green, yellow, or ochre color, not that color. Colors of every aspect of life. Meher Baba in every aspect of life. So Madhusudan had composed one song on that. The song is like this. Kisne kaha sabarang shah. Sabarang shah means one who is in every color. Kisne kaha sabarang shah tujhko ye saach hai. It is true. It is very much true that you are sabarang shah. Jis rang mein dekha to us rang mein tu hai. In whatever whatever color we see, whatever color of life we see, you are there. It may be bad or it may be good, it may be cruel, or it may be kind, it may be true, it must be false. In every color of life, you are there. Your presence is there. And next stanza, I said, Darbar mein aana ho to sehna uta patak. Uta patak means he's lifting you and putting you down on the floor. Lifting you and putting you down on the floor. Down on the floor. This is called Utha Patak. So if you want to go to his darbar, you have to be prepared for that. Because he will be fond of lifting you and putting you down, lifting you and putting you down on the floor. Darbar mein aana ho to sehna Utha Patak. Yahan yoga hai Kantala. Kantala is a very popular word in Baba's group, Baba's Mandali, Kantala Yoga. It is said that during Manzil-e-Mim time, all the companies who were accompanying Baba in Manzil-e-Mim, they were staying with Baba. There was one duty Baba had given to me. They had to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, early in the morning, sit on the bed and repeat any name of God loudly. For Hindus, for Mohammedans, for Christians, there were whatever name it is comfortable for them, they have to recite it for 1 hour in the morning at 4 o'clock starting, and 5 o'clock they have again to go to bed, again to sleep. And Dr. Ghani used to call it as a Kantala yoga. Kantala means it is a boring. It's boring for you, boring for us. So boring yoga. And then थापा चुपी की एक और लज्जत अजीब है. He was very expert in making you fool by telling something which is not correct, which is not true. Some bluffing, I would say. He was very expert in that. But this bluffing is not harming anybody. One has to bear in mind that this sort of bluffing by Baba, it was never harmful to anybody. It was just out of fun. So thapa thupi, thap marna means you bluff out, do some bluffing. Supposing a child doesn't go to school and the teacher asks, he doesn't go to school because he has not done his homework. And if the teacher ask him why you are very absent yesterday, the child will bluff that no, sir, I was not well, my head was aching, my stomach was not good. Some bluffing he would do. Then this type of bluffing, Baba was expert in doing that. That is what Ghani says. And then next stanza is, Hayran iska naam malum ho gaya. The one, Baba's name was Irani. Baba's last name was Irani. And Ghani says that Irani means Hairani, one who harasses you. That is Hairani. So he makes you Hairani. He does that Hairani with you. Circular wala, plan wala Baba dekh liya. I have seen that Baba who is very fond of issuing circulars and who is very fond of making plans and cancelling it, and then again making new plans, again cancelling, again abandoning some plans. He was very fond of issuing circulars and making plans. And last stanza is very, what should I say, very courageous on part of Dr. Ghani. ये भी सुना मधुसूदन ने कहते तू घाघ है. घाघ is a very typical word which means very shrewd, very ustad, what we call ustad, expert in everything, expert in making you fool, or expert in understanding your mind. He is expert in all. That is, these are the qualifications which Dr. Ghani used to use for Baba, and that he used to tell us when we sit with him for attending to his lectures, our group meetings. He used to use all these. And for this sort of a thing, there's a term which he used to have always say is, this is the boxing behind the curtain. This is the inside story behind the curtain. All that secrets behind the curtain. How Baba used to deal with his Mandali people, and especially Dr. Ghani. So this was a song which was composed by Madhusudan on the basis of the words which were qualifying Baba's nature, according to Dr. Ghani. There is one specific story about Dr. Ghani, is that after he had tried to commit suicide because of the loans he had to repay to the money lender. I had described this last time in one of my sessions, that he had taken some loan of 16,000 rupees from a money lender, and he could not repay it in time, and that person had brought court attachment, or auction that property, his property in Lonavala. He had 5 houses in Lonavala. Ghani was owning 5 houses in Lonavala because that was a very good time when he was given the title of honorary magistrate by government. And he was doing well then. And that time he had purchased these 5 houses, and that were kept with this mortgage with the Marwadi, with the money lender. And because that money could not be cleared in time, that person had brought attachment, and then all that story happened that that money lender was killed. He and his wife was killed, and the first doubt was Dr. Ghani. But then Baba had already picked him up from the dam, on the parapet wall of the dam, and he had brought him to the ashram. During that time, Ghani was not in a very good mood. He was very in a sad mood. The reason was that after fighting legally, he could gain three rooms back. 2 were to be forgone because that in repayment of that loan, he had to forgo these 2 rooms, and 3 he could get back. These 3 rooms he had donated to Meher Baba. And Meher Baba had taken the responsibility of looking after the family, Ghani's wife and his children. Ghani had his wife, then 4 daughters and 1 son. This was his family. So he had to manage this family. And this was donated, these 3 rooms were donated to Baba. 3 houses, I would say, 3 houses were donated to Baba. And Baba has promised that he will look after the family. But then when Baba declared about the new life, Baba never mentioned anything about. He only said that I have to make some arrangements for Dr. Ghani's family. That was only the thing. But thereafter, Baba had ignored entirely this aspect. And Ghani was all the time worried because Ghani was to go along with Baba. That was also because Baba wanted him to accompany in new life. And then Ghani had to agree to that. But then Baba was not telling anything about his family, and he was very much worried about his family. And in that mood, in that sad mood, he had composed a song where I have got the translation of that song, because the original song must have been in Urdu. Unfortunately, that Urdu script, we could not get it. It may be lying somewhere, because since it was poetry composed, it must be lying somewhere, but nobody could find it out. Recently, I heard that what Parks is working on Dr. Ghani's diary. Hopefully, if he finds it, this original version of this poetry, then it will be very useful for all of us. But I have a translation of that poetry, which I would like to read before you. It is a very beautiful piece of work. Ghani has expressed his agony through that composition. And on Baba's instructions, Khak Sahib had replied to Ghani's grudges or complaints. So both these things are available with me. I will read out that is originally in English, so that I need not translate it. I'll just read it for you. Very interesting poetry. The title is I do not know how to pronounce it. Jeremiad of Saki. Jeremiad to Saki. Saki means the one who is the wine seller. And the Jeremiad goes like this. Tonight, this is actual poetry I'm reading now. Tonight, the members of the tavern are meeting in a session. Tonight, the members of the tavern are meeting in a session. Tonight, the master of the tavern also is gracing the occasion. Tonight, the master of the tavern is also gracing the occasion. Tonight, if permitted, I wish to unburden my heart. Tonight, if permitted, I wish to unburden my heart. Hereafter, the love and lover and this divine night will only be a dream. Hereafter, the love and lover and this divine night will only be a dream. I am notorious in the world as a free thinker. That is what Ganesh says. I am notorious in the world as a free thinker. Excuse me if the wailing tune is not sweet to the ear. Excuse me if the wailing tune is not sweet to the ear. O Saki, hear for once the groans of the faithful ones. O Saki, hear, H-E-A-R, hear for once the groans of the faithful ones. This bemoaning is nevertheless tinged with love. This bemoaning is nevertheless tinged with love. O Saki, do you recall to mind the plethora of promises? These the uninvited gestures of kindness and favors shattered our reasoning and vanquished our resistance. We were caught just on the threshold of our lives. We were caught just on the threshold of our lives. O Saki, do you remember the postponement of your promises to June and September? Do you remember that? We often recall such incidents for amusements. See the taunting which Dr. Ghani makes. We often recall such incidents for amusements. You begin to evolve subterfuges and excuses. You begin to evolve subterfuges and excuses. There is no one to beat you at this game. There is no one to beat you at this game. Often you have played the game of construction and destruction. Often you have played the game of construction and obstruction. No sooner we felt settled, there was unsettlement. No sooner we settled, there was unsettlement. The breeze of destruction, however, was never so strong as on this occasion. The breeze of destruction was never so strong as on this occasion. It seems the present game implied perfect destruction. It seems the present game implied perfect destruction. The School of Love for years underwent a routine course. What seized you to change suddenly the curriculum so drastically? See, I'll repeat. The School of Love for years underwent a routine course. What seized you to change suddenly the curriculum so drastically? He must be referring to the Baba's new life. Mere words can never remove the age-long ruts of temperament and nature when it is problem even for advanced souls. When it is a problem even for advanced souls. Saki's reply to the Jeremiah. That reply was drafted by Khak Sahib Khak Sahib, whose name was Abbas. And it was read before Baba, before all the Mandali, on behalf of Baba. Inmates of the tavern, do you know whose is this wailing note today? This is what Baba says. This is what Khak has drafted on behalf of Baba. Inmates of the tavern, do you know whose is the wailing note today? The voice evidently is one of our beneficiaries. The voice evidently is one of our beneficiaries. How dare he complain about the tyranny of the Saki? How dare he complain about the tyranny of the Saki? Can he truly say that the wine eternal has not benefited him at all? Can he truly say that the wine eternal has not benefited him at all? Don't disgrace the name of the free thinking. Don't disgrace. See the language which is used on behalf of Baba. Don't disgrace the name of free thinking. A free thinker never caters for name and fame. The Saki has not forgotten his promises. The Saki has never forgotten his promises and his uncalled for gestures of kindness and favors. And his uncalled for gestures of kindness and favors. It will be near big mark if I were to call you short-sighted. This is really what one has to focus on is, it would be near a mark. It would be near the mark if I were to call you short-sighted. Whatever I did was just the right thing in your case. Whatever I did was just the right thing in your case. The so-called freedom of your dreams, like death. Baba is referring to his suicidal effort. The so-called freedom of your dreams, like death, would have dragged you down to the depths of ignominy and shame, which would have dragged you down to the depth of ignominy and shame. In the world, for one beautiful, there is one better. In the world, for one beautiful, there is one better. In intellect and learning, there are hundreds of superiors to you. See the outspoken language which Meher Baba uses. In intellect and learning, there are hundreds superior to you. Just explain what particular qualification you possess. Just explain what particular qualification you possess. That amongst others, you become select in my eyes. That amongst others, you become select in my eyes. The process of purifying the heart is not a child's game. The process of purifying the heart is not a child's game. The ordeal of surrender and resignation is long and tedious. The ordeal of surrender and resignation is long and tedious. Your hasty temperament has blurred your vision. Your hasty temperament has blurred your vision. In this path, there is a tardiness, but not niggardliness. Listen to the Saki, don't lose heart. This is now Baba is coming to his kind nature and says, listen to the Saki and don't lose heart. Success depends on the will to do and die. Give up all considerations of profit and loss. The merciful master of the tavern will no doubt make you drink one day the wine of immortal life. This is the reply which was given by Meher Baba, which was drafted by Khak Sahib on behalf of Meher Baba. The language used by Baba is very, what should I say, outspoken language. And I remember once in Guru Prasad, Baba had got, if any quotations from Hafiz is to be given, Baba would ask Aloba to recite the original, and then he will explain what Hafiz wants to say. So there is one couplet which was recited by, on Baba's instruction, which was recited by Aloba, and Baba had explained the meaning of it. Baba said, what Hafiz wants to say is, a time will come in your life when you will, when except darkness, you won't be able to see anything around you. You will see only darkness and darkness and darkness. You will be so very helpless. Nobody will be near to you to help you. And you will be just in a hopeless condition. You will be just in a very helpless condition. That time, everybody has to face in one's life. But if you are in contact with a perfect master, if you are in contact with your master, don't lose heart. Because whatever he has planned for you is going to help you in future, in long run, in ultimate end of your life. It is going to help you. So don't lose heart. That is what Hafiz had said in one of the couplets, and Baba had explained it in the Guru Prasad. The treatment with this perfect master is really, in one of the songs, one of these couplets of very famous poet. His name is at certain times I don't get that name immediately, but that couplet which I would recite or I would say here is, मोहब्बत क्या है? What is love? तासीरे मोहब्बत किसको कहते हैं? What is the effect of love? मोहब्बत क्या है? तासीरे मोहब्बत किसको कहते हैं? What is love and what is the effect of love? तेरा मजबूर कर देना, मेरा मजबूर हो जाना. You compel me to dance on the tips of your fingers, on the signs of your fingers. You make me dance, and I get compelled to dance on your tune. That is what is called mohabbat. That is what is called love. If we are prepared to that love, then there is no scope for us to make any complaint about it. Long ago, when my eldest son Prashant was studying in Ahmedabad for management course, he had come across a beautiful story in the life of Jesus Christ. The one who went against, who denied Jesus, he had, the story was something like that he had complained about Jesus Christ. He was taken the court of law, and then there was a sort of a witness, recording of witness. And that man, I think his name was Peter. What was the name? One who went against, one who denied. Anyway, so he was asked, Peter. Why you did? Huh?
Peter only. Yeah. Peter.
What? Peter.
Yes.
Peter, no? Huh? So why you denied Jesus Christ? So what he said, I do not know whether it was correct story, but that there was some writing about this, and Prashad had said it to me. It was long ago. That said that that Peter is complaining that we have followed this master because He used to give sight to blind people. He used to raise the dead. And we believed in him. And in the course of time, we found that he has no such powers. And those who denied him. And then Jesus has said that, didn't I tell you that whatever I do, you have to follow me. Don't complain afterwards. But then he had failed to do that. Peter had failed to do that. This is what is your relation with your master. So that in that couplet, the poet says, the shair says that what is love? This couplet, particular couplet, was explained by Meher Baba himself when it was sung before Baba. That couplet says, what is love? And what is the effect of love? Tera majboor kar dena. You make me compelled. You compel me to dance on your tune. And I get compelled. I have to just give in. I have to just obey you. I have to just fulfill your, commitment to you. And if you find in every life of a saintly person, if every life, there is no happy life. They have lived a life. Once they give their life to their masters, they have all the torture they have to undergo. Look at Mira, look at Indian saints like Tukaram and Dnyaneshwar. Dnyaneshwar, the whole family was abandoned by the outcast by the people. And they had to beg for their food. And they become world famous perfect masters afterwards. This is what the spiritual life is. So Baba indicates to Dr. Ghani, whatever I have taken decisions about you is for ultimate good of you. And don't complain now. You have admitted, you have agreed to live with me. And now there is a scope for your complaint. But then Baba is so kind, so compassionate that he has attended to the... You see, why Baba did that? Why Ghani had come to complain about that? Because when Baba declared his new life, and Baba wanted Ghani to accompany his new life, there was no provision about the family people. That was the worry of Dr. Ghani. How they will live now after he goes away, how they will live. And Baba is not talking about anything. Baba had actually shirked out all the responsibility on him, on the shirt of everything that was connected with his old life. When he stepped into the new life, he has completely broken up the relations with the old life people. And in that, he had also gave up all the responsibility of that. He had given up all the promises to maintain the family of Dr. Ghani. But then looking to the situation to which Ghani was confronted, Baba made a provision in Mahabashwar on 16th of October, when he had a gathering of old life people and new life companions, old life people together. That was at Aga Khan Bungalow. And then he had raised a fund. He had called it a Ghani Boja Fund. Boja means the burden. Burden of Ghani's Boja, Ghani's burden. The promise which had given by Baba, that was burden on Baba. So for that matter, Baba had collected, voluntarily offered money for Ghani for repay that Boja fund raise that Boja fund to repay the commitments which Baba had made towards Gani's family. And that was how the matter was settled. Thereafter, within the little time, there is some sort of a big story about Dr. Gani's ending days that I think I will take it for next time. But before that, I will have one or couple of stories about some other matters. One is, which I intend to say is, once I was there as my usual visit to Mirazad, I had gone to Mirazad. The female Mandali were not very well. Everyone was were feeling sick, and nobody was allowed to shake hand with them. Nobody was allowed to touch them. Nobody was allowed to embrace them or carry them. That was not allowed. And the Mandali was sitting on a chair, one after the other, starting with Gohar, then Mani, and then all other Mandali people. That was in Mirazad. And I had gone to Mirazad on my visual visit. When we have to say Jai Baba from a distance. The Jai Baba was made popular by the people, by the Baba lovers from northern India. They have made the Hamirpur district or all that. They have made this Jai Baba very popular. So I just stood when I came to Mani, and she stopped me. I was just going ahead, but then she stopped me and told me that, Pratap, just wait, I have to show you something. And she took out a picture of Meher Baba. He took out a picture which was of a statue of Meher Baba. It was such a bad picture, I would say. It's a bad statue. And Mani just mischievously asked me, what do you think about this? I said, Mani, I have seen several such paintings. I have seen several such statues. In fact, I do not feel like bowing down to that, even though I know that this is made for Baba. Still, then I don't feel that I should bow down to that. Such bad shape. And Gani this Mani very softly asked me, don't you think that is your weakness? Don't you think with it your weakness? You may be able to see Baba in everything. I said, Mani, I admit that it is my weakness. I admit, and I cannot correct it, but then it is my weakness. I cannot see Baba. I cannot bow down to such pictures. There are paintings also. Which are so very bad that in posterity, the people will think the Baba was looking like this. Baba was so very. Our Ramakrishnan, K.K. Ramakrishnan, Pune Center Secretary, he used to say that even in pictures, actual pictures taken of Meher Baba, the correct person or correct feeling of Baba, it doesn't, even the photographs do not depict what really Baba looked like. So it is beyond the scope of photography what to talk about painting and what to talk about statues. So I told Mani that I have seen several such statues and several such pictures which have been painted by people, and they are so very out of shape and out of actual Baba's beauty. And Mani is repeatedly telling me, but don't you think it is your weakness? I said, I admit it is my weakness. But what should I do? I can't just concern myself with that. And very softly she says, it is also my weakness. Ultimately, she says, it is also my weakness. So, coming to the pictures, even the actual pictures taken by cameras, they also do not depict the real beauty of Meher Baba. What to talk about paintings, and what to talk about statues is altogether different. I know in Guru Prasad, when the first proposal of installing a statue of Meher Baba in Nauranga, that first proposal came from Nauranga. At that time, Baba was very reluctant to allow it, but then somehow they got Baba agreed to that proposal. And for that matter, the artist who was to mold that statue, he was sitting along with the Mandali for hours. We have seen him sitting in looking at different angles, even to the extent of taking measures of Baba's hands and legs and fingers and all that. Baba had allowed to that extent to take the measures of his body. And then the artist was from Rajasthan, where they are very sort of a area where marbles and Italian marbles, they are produced there. So that such an artist was brought to Guru Prasad, and he was sitting, he was given free hand to look at Baba from different angles, sit at different corners and look at Baba. And thereafter, this statue was prepared by that person, and it came out to be really very good statue. A standing pose which is in Nauranga. It is very similar to Baba. If you stand just close to that, you feel as if Baba standing there. Another statue which is more or less like very close to Baba's look is in Kovur, Andhra Pradesh, in Kovur. It is a sitting pose, a life-size pose. The statue in Nauranga is made of marble. But people have some peculiar habits of decorating with some colorful, some shawl and this and that, some dresses, fancy dresses like that. It's not. I do not know why the people have that fancy of putting those dresses on Baba's body. So another statue which is made of bronze is in Kovur. That is also sitting pose, but very similar to Baba's, very close to Baba's form. And thereafter, I don't talk about the other, more or less. Some are better, some are not at all of the real taste. So this is about all that statues. And one very famous pose, this is called a mudra. Baba is sitting, and this is the pose. This is a posture he has given. I do not know whether it was actual photograph taken or it was made out by a teacher who was a painter in Andhra. Very, very famous Baba lover, very dedicated Baba lover. But I heard people saying that he had drawn that picture out of his looking at Baba's picture. He had drawn a posture which is called Baba sitting in a mudra. Mudra means posture. About that, and one darbar pose. It was taken by a very famous artist by name Rege, that was in Pune Center. That person had come to Pune Center, and Baba allowed him to give poses. Baba sat on his chair. Baba allowed him to take pictures, and that person had made out a very famous photograph, a famous painting, which is very well known by the name Darbar pose. Darbar is the court, or Darbar is the assemblage of people, and that is the Darbar pose. Baba sitting on a chair with his feet available for touching by the people. That's a beautiful picture he has taken, and many copies of that picture people are possessing that. So these are some of the, but I have seen in US some of the paintings which were drawn by people. They are quite nice. Not the statues, but I don't find any statues installed in US. But I have seen pictures, paintings of Meher Baba. They are fairly very good paintings. But in our side, very few painters are there who can picture Baba, who can exactly bring in Baba's beauty in their painting. Otherwise, they are just, many of us are simply just unbearable for us, for a person like me, because I have seen Baba in his beautiful form, which cannot be. And one more thing, a person from Pune, Bhikkhu Bhai Panarkar, Milan Photo Studio, the owner of the Milan Photo Studio, he had been allowed ample of opportunity to take Baba's pictures in what should I, whenever Baba is there giving darshan, and he was allowed to, had a free access to take Baba's picture from different angles and different postures in action, Baba's several poses. So he had taken several pictures. Before that, there was one photographer from Ahmednagar whose name was Pandey, Bhaiya Pandey. He was a real artist. He had that artistic mind, and few pictures are very good taken by that person. In Baba's Mandali, there was Padri who used to take, in New Life, you will find Baba's pictures which were taken by Padri. This is about all that pictures, because there was a query from one of my best friends from Hyderabad that would you have something about these pictures in your session today? You speak about these pictures which came to my mind, and I just explained to you how this picturing of Baba has happened during Baba's lifetime and thereafter. So I think our time is over, and I'm really very happy to be with you people on this occasion of Baba's birthday time. So Jai Baba to all of you. Thank you so much. Any question if people have, I would like to just, if at all there are any.
Yeah, anybody has any question can unmute themselves and ask. So you have to unmute yourself.
Jai Baba. Jai Baba.
Jai Baba.
I am so happy you talk about the humor with Baba and Ghani. I can't hear enough of the humor, because we need that humor.
Yes.
And also that poem that you shared.
Yes.
Baba wrote that poem or Ghani? Who wrote that poem? It was written in Urdu, you said?
One poem, the complaining poem, was composed by Dr. Ghani himself.
Okay, it was. Okay.
But the reply to that
with
on behalf of Baba, Baba has to give reply to that.
Yeah.
And Baba had asked Khak Sahib, who was also a poet. Baba asked him to give reply to Dr. Ghani's poetry.
Oh.
So Ghani.
Oh.
That is why the language which Baba has used on behalf of Baba, which has been used in that reply, it is very straightforward, cutting off all complaints which Ghani was having in his mind.
You know, Pratap,
Yes,
I
please.
wanted to say one other thing. I wanted to share. This actually came to me this morning, and it was, where are you? There you are. It's from Adi K. Arani. It's so beautiful. And it was regards a birthday. I don't know what year. It says, this is the birthday of that perfection personified being whose every thought, every sight, every act, and every touch is a blessing of incalculable magnitude for the uplift of those who love him, and also for those who knowingly or unknowingly keep away from him. He stands on his own status of his infinite love for humanity as the living embodiment of truth. Adi K. Arani. I just thought it was so beautiful.
It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
And that is true. That is why I say that we people who have come in Baba's contact, the highest of the high, the contact of highest of the high, we can be jealous of our own fortune.
Thank you so much. I was just so engaged to hear more of Ghani, because you know a lot about their humor.
Yes. Thank you.
Very precious. Yeah.
Hey, Pratap.
Yes, please.
Here's a beautiful poem by Francis Brabazon, or a few words that we read yesterday. Francis says, "Men are born and are reborn until they die into the deathless and are never born again. But one man, being birthless and deathless, takes birth again and again because of the cry of the world for relief from the burden of living, and to mirror himself in the tears of his lovers."
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
So very beautiful.
Yeah.
That is the heart of the poet. The real heart. What that contains. We have seen Baba and Francis together several times. Francis used to be in his own mood, but he was a very studious person. Sometimes he would stop us and ask for some meanings of Marathi words that he used to do, and we used to tell him. A nice, wonderful time we had. Now we have to wait for. I do not know about our what is the outcome of our life with Baba. We are not bothered about that. Whether we'll come back or whether or not to come back, we are not bothered about that. We have enjoyed this life with Baba fully, without any. I would say that I have not spared a single opportunity to be with him. I have not wasted. Every opportunity we have taken to be with him. That was really very much fortune for us. He has bestowed so much of love. One thing I would just mention here. There was one lady from Delhi. In her maybe her very sad mood, she had written that why Baba is so cruel with me. Why Baba cruel with me? Why Baba is so cruel with me? And Aloba, when he read that letter, he got so wild. How you dare call Baba to be cruel? In the ocean of compassion, how you call? And he fired that lady. So that lady was practically wordless. We could not say anything, but because Aloba was like a fire, when he gets wild, means nobody can stand before him. So he said, how you dare say Baba? Baba is so very compassionate. And it is our ignorance. It is our ignorance that we cannot fathom his compassion. We cannot know. There are different ways of his compassion. We cannot know.
You know, there's a great quote from Rumi where he says, why do you complain about the master's harshness? When a man beats a carpet with a stick, don't say he's being cruel. He's merely getting rid of the dust.
I have one story from this Islamic. There was one saintly person. He had his family and always in a miserable condition. But in whatever situation he will always pray to Allah. He was very faithful in praying to Allah. And one of the priests says, why you pray to Allah? He is not listening to you. Get out from here. Why you come here for repeated prayers? But that person doesn't listen. He very faithfully comes to the masjid and prays to Allah. And once it so happened that Allah appears before him and said, I am not going to attend to your prayers. I am not going to listen to your prayers. And that priest says, see, what is the outcome of your prayers? Allah has appeared before him and has said that I am not concerned with your prayers. I am not listening to your prayers. That what that person says, at least he has denied. I am happy. At least he has denied to listen to my prayers. In that time.
Pratapji.
Yes.
Pratapji, Jai Meher Baba, and belated happy Baba birthday to you.
Thank you so much.
You talked quite a bit about statues related to Baba, and you mentioned Noranga, the building that Baba's statue in Noranga is called Meher Dham.
Yes.
And Baba, as you know, was very reluctant, very reticent to give permission for the villages of Noranga to erect this statue and this dham. But when he finally agreed, he said that there needed to be a plaque alongside the statue. The gist of the message on the plaque is, I'm not to be found in statues. But here is exactly what the plaque says. Always remember that ceremonies cover me, but pure worship reveals me.
Yes,
that quote from Meher Baba. And that's on the plaque to the right of Baba's statue in Meher Dham, Noranga.
Yes. About this statue in Avur also, Baba had not very much agreeable to having that sort of a temple and then statue. But the person who was keen to install that statue, what he said to Baba, you remain in seclusion for months and months and years, and we become very much uneasy when we see you for long. We don't see you for a long time. At least that will be a little consolation for us if we have a statue. And of course, for the posterity, it will be good thing for having your statue. But there, what Baba said, very beautiful. Baba said, unless you bring me with you and sit before the statue, you have to bring me in your heart and sit before the statue. Then it is Meher Baba. Otherwise, it is a statue of a metal. So whenever you go to that, you go to have that darshan of statue, you have to take Meher Baba in your heart and sit before that statue. If you contain Meher Baba in your heart, then only the statue will speak with you. Otherwise, it is a dead statue of some metal. That was the reasoning Baba had given during the Navranga, during the Kovur statue. But other statues are not very good. And one thing which I really dislike is that they decorate very, very funny with some funny clothes and shawl and this and that, and which Baba never used all that. Baba's days was so very simple, and when people used to put garlands on Baba, at times they will not remove these thorns on, especially these rose flowers. And Mani and Mehrab was very particular about that. He will ask the people just to see that they remove that whole, just simply keep that rose flower. And then once Baba said that people put so many garlands on me, I have only two shirts, which Baba used to wear. I have only two. If you spoil one, then I'm late with one. You will never find such a God who is so very close to you and converses with you in such a manner. I have only two shirts like this.
So that sentence
yes,
the sentence is to find me here in Meherstan, search the depth of your heart. This is what Baba said about Meherstan Kovur. To find me here in Meherstan, search the depth of your heart. Search the depth of your heart.
Thank you.
So we have Vijay ji who has raised his hand. So
Jai Baba, Pratap ji, talking of the statues, in 1960, Baba himself monitored his bust. Why I'm telling that I was a kid, 9-year-old, and when Baba was in that small room, Guru Prasad Veranda, and he himself, there was an artist, Bhai or something like that, and he was making Baba's bust, and Baba was himself guiding him to make, because I sneaked into that room, Baba's room, and I saw Baba inside, and Baba himself monitoring his face, do this, do this. And I wondered that whether that statue, where is that half bust? It was a white marble statue. And
may I know who is speaking now? Vijay.
This is Vijay.
Vijay, I think that statue was made on the order of Dr. C.D. Deshmukh had got small statues made this much. So this was Dr. C.D. Deshmukh who had asked that person to make small statues.
So it must be
sorry.
No, it must be in his possession now at his house.
No, some people may be having that. It was for sale, but so many people had taken that. So it may be some people may be having that.
But artist is still there, Mr. Bhaigade.
I am not. I do not sure with that. I am not sure.
I understand Prashant may be knowing him, because he is at Pune, and so that was a wonderful, because it was not just he might have taken months to make that burst.
Yes.
Yeah, and it is, I think, even in Lord Meher also, regarding Deshmukh bringing.
Yes, Deshmukh. It was sponsored by Deshmukh, C.D. Deshmukh.
Right. And talking of the cruelty you just mentioned, Bhau Kalchuri's poetry, he has described Baba as very cruel and very heartless and like that in his poetries. So
yes. So you have Baba said that when this is the truth, that he is there in everything. He is there in God or bad. You see, once when when Baba got wild with Dr. Ghani, very much disputed with Dr. Ghani, and he told Dr. Ghani, get away from this ashram. Don't show your black face here again. And before all the Mandali people, Baba scolded him and driven him out. Get out from here. Don't show your bad face now, hereafter. And Ghani went to his room. He collected his clothes and then again stood very politely before Baba. And Baba said, don't you have a shame when I told you that you get away from here? Still you are here showing your bad face to me. And Ghani very softly asked Baba, where should I go? Go to hell. Jannam mein jao. And but you are there.
One more thing. If I don't forgetting, you also got Baba scanning. Baba canned you when you were sleeping at Guru Prasad, not something like that.
Yes. It was one incident when we were entering. Myself and Narendra Thade was with me. When we are entering, the door was not completely closed, but it was just little open. And in the afternoon session, when we very softly opened the door, not wide open, but just to peep in, Baba was lying down, and some few Mandali, about 2, 3, 4 people, they were sitting around Baba, and Baba was sitting on one side like that. He just gestured, who is there? And Mandali, somebody, he said Pratap and Narendra. So Baba said, let them come in. So we went inside and sat there. Baba's son-in-law, Behram's son-in-law, he was pressing Baba's feet, massaging Baba's feet. And in that position, Baba says, the burden, he's telling both of us, turning his face towards us and said, the whole burden of the whole universe is on me. I have got a lot of pains in my body. In that position, he says so. So that was one occasion which happened in Guru Prasad. Anyways, it's a very nice time we had with Baba. My God, it's a memorable incidents. And when I just keep on thinking one after the other, that memories come to my mind. So Ganesh,
thank you, Pratap.
What is next? What is next now?
No, I think that's all. So Dinah Goodhart says, thank you so much, Pratap ji. It's so wonderful to spend time with you, Jai Meher Baba. Yeah. So Dinah is here.
Thank you, Pratap.
Yes, please.
So we'll say 3 times Avtar Meher Baba ki Jai.
Yes,
conclude this session.
Yes,
Avtar Meher Baba ki Jai. Avtar Baba ki Jai. Avtar
Meher Baba ki Jai.
Pratap, we'll next time you talk also, will you repeat the poem from Ghani and then Baba's response? I'd like to hear that again.
The English version of it, English version.
In English, but you could say the other English also, yeah.
Because we don't have that original one.
It was in Urdu. Could Ghani speak Urdu, or did he know Urdu, Ghani?
No.
No.
We don't have that.
No.
Okay.
I think, no, I mean, didn't Ghani speak Urdu?
He spoke it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
No.
Yes, he was expert in Urdu and Persian also.
Yeah.
He knew Persian also.
Yeah.
You can't find the written poem back and forth. Is that what you?
No, this poetry this was long ago, before our coming in Baba's contact, and in the early days we had not that sort of a mind or the maturity of to find out who has written, where is that script and all that. But thereafter, we have found out some poetry of Dr. Ghani.
Yeah.
And there is now next time when we went to Mahabaleshwar, Dr. Ghani had given one poetry that I will take for discussion next time. And perhaps that will be a sort of a ending days of Dr. Ghani.
Oh, I know.
It's very heart touching.
When did Ghani pass away? When did he pass away?
In 1951. Month must be August or something. Perhaps August 1951. He passed away. Immediately, this is not very long time when after in 1950 Baba held that meeting in Mahabaleshwar. Thereafter Dr. Ghani didn't live for long. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
He was a very lovable personality.
Yeah.
Very yes. So next time, again we meet with the Ghani story. Jai Baba.
Yeah. Jai Baba Pratap.
Jai Baba. Thank you so much.
Jai Baba.
Jai Meher Baba.
Jai Meher Baba. Jai Meher Baba. Jai Meher Baba.
Jai Baba.
Jai Meher.
Thank you,
Jai
Baba.
Meher Baba.